Hello, everybody. It's Carrier Sunday, and we have a new addition to the fleet. This is the Independence. It's the next carrier in the line, the U.S. line. But it have I think this might be a premium one that we bought. But this is the Independence, and has upgraded aircraft. As you can see, monoplanes. You have torpedo, plus you have HE on this carrier. All carriers on the U.S. side have HE bombers, plus torpedo planes as well. There's a couple other nation carriers that have, I think it's the German carriers that have armor-piercing bombs, which will get you citadels. Right now, what I can get is set fires using HE bombers. And like, just getting used to it. This is the first time I took it out. And it's a pretty cool carrier. It's like the old World War II type aircraft. That, the Dauntlesses and the dive bombers, and it's kind of pretty cool. So, and we're making progress on Midway. I got a few more things. I think there's like 2 or 3 more segments that's got to go through, and then I'll actually have the Midway. I've been waiting so long for that one. I'll have to get it a special paint job. I'm bringing it in the port. But it's going to be a little bit yet, but it's this close. It's closer to getting it than when I first started. While at the same time, I got the Kage. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's a Japanese carrier that I'm working on through the Bureau. What the Bureau is, it's a place where you can go in, you can start doing research on different type of ships. Like if you want, they have battleships and other ones. But right now I'm working on 2 carriers, the Midway and the Kaga. So it's over time. As the more time you play, the more time the less time it takes to acquire the different segments. I've been at it for quite a while, and then I can focus a lot of what I was doing on the other one. And maybe look at getting another type of ship, maybe a destroyer or a cruiser. I like cruisers. Cruisers are tough. They're not as maneuverable as a destroyer, but you can have some pretty good fun with them. And there you go. Whatever like that. Like I said, it takes a while to get used to bombing again. Like I just overshot that one. Oops. Right by him. But I'm getting better at that. I'm figuring out how to slow myself down so I can keep the target on the ship. And as long as I can keep them in the crosshairs when I release the bomb, they should hit where that crosshairs is. And that's a little bit of practice to get that a little better, because a lot of times I go to dive bomb on them, and the ship will go out from underneath my roof. Instead of kind of going down, leaving it a little bit so that when you get to your drop zone, it's underneath you. That takes a little bit of practice. But I've got enough carriers that get practice. Then there's a couple of carriers that have skip bombing, where it's kind of like you come in and it's you drop them as you're coming into the side of the ship or something like that. So it's kind of a little bit different. Then I think there's some that have rockets, possibly. I think that might be more of a higher tier carriers and their aircraft. I was running out of gas. That's the thing I had to get used to with this. There was a time you didn't have that gas meter. You could wander around there all like, and I would too. I'd go back there looking for their carriers. Now, you're almost running out of gas by the time you find it. So a lot of the times what I'm trying to do is find the best path to close the distance between me and that other carrier. So when it comes down to maybe just 2 ships left, like right here, now I don't have as far to go to find the carrier. It's on the map. I think somebody's shooting at me, right? But right now I thought I'd go and help with this battleship. And bringing in the torpedo planes. The Independence has those torpedo planes. If I'm not mistaken, you have 3 aircraft going in on the bombing run as opposed to 2, because it's a higher ranking. It's a tier 5 carrier. I think it's premium though. I think I bought it. I don't remember. Because I'm working on the Ranger right now. The Ranger, you have a carrier after tier 3, then a 4. And there's this one that's tier 5. So I might have got it that way. I'll have to check and see. So here we are. We're with the Langley now. Talk about a World War II aircraft carrier that basically started a lot of it. At least the United States carrier fleet started with the Langley. And he got it in the game. And I have it. I have permanent color on it. That's a permanent pattern. I can alternate between 2 or 3 different permanent patterns for the ship. And it helps a little bit. It's supposed to help with detection and stuff like that. And if it gives you a little bit of an edge, plus it kind of customized my carriers. I usually fly the rubber duck flag or the rubber duck fleet. And all my carriers and all my ships all carry the rubber duck fleet flag. As you can see, the aircraft on this here carrier though is their biplanes. Back in the day when they were first testing, landing, and taking off from a deck built on a would have been a cruiser. It was the hull. They put a flight deck on it, and then they called that the Langley. That kind of represents that a little bit here in the game. So here's our biplane. We're going on bombing. Like I said, all the U.S. carriers have HE bombs. So the most we can do when we go on bombing is start fires. But there's ribbons for that, and the more set on fires you can get, that'll get you different bonuses and stuff like that. So there's different things. I'm starting to learn that okay, if I'm going to try and get a destroyer. They're tough because they're fast and maneuverable, see? Missed them. But I got to keep trying on those guys. Those are the ones I want them off the map first if I can help it. Because they can be devastating. Like somebody that knows what they're doing with it, a destroyer can come after your carrier. Good luck. Not much you can do. But remember, if you are doing that, carriers do have secondaries. I've seen them do some damage to ships that got too close. But there's the advantage you have, because you can sit off and launch strikes against the carrier, and they can't touch you until they fly off the ship. Because their main weapon are the aircraft, and if they can't launch aircraft, then they don't have their main weapon to use. And it's kind of tough to sit there and get your carrier going in the right direction, take off, go after something that's coming at you. But most of the time I turn to my team, or I try to keep the team between me and them. Sometimes it helps, most of the time it helps. And sometimes no, they push right through, and next thing I find myself right in amongst all of them. And then that carrier can go down pretty quick. But I've had some pretty decent battles with carriers. The thing with carriers too is, at the end of the battle, the statistics, the carriers, you don't get a lot like you could with a destroyer or a cruiser, because you're flying like I said, your main source of damage would be your aircraft, unless they get in too close, and then your secondaries would help. There we go, we found them. No, that's an assisted kill. See, but I'm running out of fuel, and I'm looking for that carrier in the back here somewhere, but I have to send this group back to the carrier and get another one and bring them back out. And see, all the time you're flying and stuff, you're not doing any damage. Or like with the cruiser, you can keep launching shells, keep launching shells, keep launching shells. You know, and here I decided, okay, what I usually do is I'll use my bombers kind of as scouts, check what's out there, see what's coming, and the best place to go at somebody when I'm bringing up the torpedoes. It takes practice. Here we go. Langley has 2 torpedo bombers going in. I'm getting a little better at dropping and getting them. I think I might have got there. We got one in there. Alright. And with them, you guys have another assistant. But that's a lot of what carrier tactics is, though. You're gonna help out a lot. You're gonna help them. Somebody else get the kills or the destroyed ships. But my side's doing pretty good. I helped out. I said, okay, there's a destroyer here. Go get this one, and I kind of give them information. I say, okay, let's focus fire on this one. But sometimes that helps if they listen. A lot of times it does. So, you know, I give out the Ocella thank you when somebody helps me out. Like I said, there's not much I can do if they're coming at me and I'm in a carrier. Like with a destroyer, you can probably outrun maybe something or get yourself into a cloud bank of smoke. And then, you got another assistant. But that's what the carriers do, though. That one went down, and now we won't have this target because it already sunk. So I'm just trying to cruise in here and go. Come back to the ship. We're going to launch out our bombers and see what's out there. Okay, we got the carrier around, and I'm closing the distance. That's what I was talking about, closing distance. The whole time I've been heading towards where their carrier might be. There. So now we're gonna go look for that other carrier, and I can get in the background there. I can check them out and say, okay, he's over here. Come and get this carrier. There's a bomb. See the indication of a bomb? That bomber had to come from somewhere. So it's a good indication that there might be a carrier in that area, because the only thing that carries bombers is carriers. So if you watch the little mini map, I can remember that. Watch the mini map. You can see where the little bomb indication or the torpedo indicators are. And I'll give you, like, see this one here? There's that little red circular one showing that's the scouts. That's the fighter escort. That's automatic. The carrier takes care of that. But that other indication is torpedo bombers taking on. Like I said, if you're watching the mini map and you're watching the map, you see all signs that will pop up out of nowhere. That's a good chance that the carrier's in that area or something. So, and I kind of use that when I go looking for them. And they do the same thing to me. But if I keep my team between me and them, they're fighters and they're bombers and stuff, you go after the other ships, and I get left alone. Because like I said, once you're trying to avoid being shot and stuff like that, you can't launch aircraft. But bullets, put it in the cannon on the shelf. I'm ELAstudio N Sons, Phyled, OelGrez's, Gwinn and Jazz. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. We'll have to do something for Thank You Thursday.